man breaks down in tears as Governor OBASEKI bans prostitution in Edo State. A young man has challenged the decision of Edo State government to ban prostitution in the state. He wept in a video about how unfair it is to chase the girls away from the state because they were serving a useful purpose for men who were depressed. The man alleged that the government officials would be affected by the ban, so they are being hypocritical by kicking out prostitution. Recall that the state government, in collaboration with the police, launched Operation Kick Out Prostitution, and a series of videos which recently went viral showed some girls being chased away. According to the guy, it was also not a good thing that no alternative employment opportunity was created for the girls before governments chose to end their business. Okay. To be honest, because Nigeria is a federation, it allows for each state to basically have different ways it wants to govern itself. And so each state has that prerogative. So if they're being chased away, it means that they would have to go to another state that accommodate for it. But yes, if there are no employment alternatives, it doesn't necessarily, you now have, in a real sense, unemployed people now in the market, because running their prostitution business was a way for them to be maybe self-employed or employed. But there's so many dangers of prostitution, especially in a country like Nigeria, that there is literally no regulation for anything. And in Edo State, not to be stereotypical, we have high cases of ladies being transported. So now prostitution is now a different thing in Edo State. In Edo State, I think it's a problem that needs to be tackled in that space specifically, because we have young girls, basically sex trafficking. You can say prostitution, but what really happens is, again, people being greedy, money, being business-minded. You have too high. The statistics are staggering, especially from Edo State, with ladies being taken for sex trafficking. Mostly, main place is Italy, to be honest. And obviously, this may be on the basis of getting a better life, traveling abroad, and then the means in which they want to do this doesn't work, and there's so many dangers. So I think in a state like Edo State, I think such bans or the approach to banning prostitution in that state, I think should be very, very intense, to be honest, because of the dangers associated with it. And it's really not, first of all, it's not safe, and it's not a good reputation for Nigerians, especially in Europe, and just black people in general. Again, the fact that we are still commodified, I mean, even till now, I mean, slavery is, it's basically a type of slavery, but for a state like Edo State, I don't think you can really judge the government for being very, I guess, harsh about it. And as much as you want to ban prostitution, you also have to have a already good system in place, a system of employment where people can have businesses, not just start businesses, but be able to sustain their business, or school, the quality of education and job opportunities after graduating. Again, you'd find if you go to a university in Edo State, or Uniben, as they say, you would have people doing degrees of various kinds. And again, these are valuable skills that if these people or if these young talents should leave the country or find themselves very much jobless, what would happen is they could be poached by other countries, or they basically stay in the country and become a nuisance. And of course, the chances of them obviously wanting to make quick money, because again, they've got to survive, increases. And for women or for girls, prostitution or sex, the sex business seems to be the way. And then for boys, the fast way is 419 or Yahoo Boys, as they say. And it is a very, very big issue, because this would then create a very, very bad culture for the youth. And this is now something that would be sustained, which is really not good, because the values and culture of the country as a whole will literally begin to, it's already deteriorating. It's pretty much shameful at this point. But then again, if systems are not in place, and I think this is where it's very unwise with the statements as they say, oh, the youth are the ones to change this country. That's not how society works. The society is basically an agreement with the young and the old. The old would make a system, and then the agreement is that you, the youth, you keep and you sustain the system. When you say the youth are to change things, what you're basically telling them to do is basically start from scratch and sustain it. And you want to put that on the youth only. It doesn't work like that. Everybody is needed and everybody has to participate in order to change the country. But I think a big thing for us as Nigerians is basically the culture that we're going to build for ourselves and what's going to be sustained, because the culture that is built is what we would represent when we go outside the countries. I mean, you see that even in Dubai, we have some cultists. Well, they're Nigerians, but they were literally running around Dubai with machetes, cutlasses, and we're breaking cars. And it's a thing where it's like, okay, fine, let's not be too harsh, but if it happened in Nigeria, of course it's not acceptable, but we will not be surprised. But it's a different thing when you go to another man's country and you are being a nuisance, really. That's not your home. And I guess it's the same thing again with sex trafficking and the prostitution business, how dangerous it is, because again, in Edo State, the statistics are staggering, with them specifically being taken to countries, for example, like Italy, where they are just packed there. And again, sex work. It's bad, because what it does, it also affects other Black people in India, abroad, as they say, because it's not a good look. And the judgment that Nigerians already get just for being Nigerian and so many things associated with our characters is very bad. So yes, I think it's something that should be taken seriously. Again, with the sex trafficking, with the prostitution business, comes with a lot of sicknesses. We have sexually transmitted diseases, and then obviously with such activities going around, you have resistance. You find that more of the diseases are strong, and for a country that does not have a strong medical system, and a medical system that is, would you say, understaffed or overworked, not enough, bad. And then you also have crime rates that would go up. We don't even have enough security. Again, this is one singular issue that they're choosing to tackle, but it affects everything else when it comes to labor, the economy, employment, criminality, insecurity, health, and education. It affects so many parts of it. So now, looking at the political aspect of it, why now? It's very, very, very convenient that the government now decides that, you know what, let's tackle these issues that we're meant to tackle under 7 months to the presidential election. I mean, obviously, state elections will start soon, but it's a thing where now, look at the timing, very, very convenient. I mean, is this the time for you to start fixing such, big problems like that? Is it now? Very, very convenient and very, very suspicious. Put what you think about it in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.